Good morning, friends. In last lecture, we saw how to find the value of the polynomials and the zeros of a polynomial, right? So we did which method? I told you, the trial and error method. In the trial and error method, you put down different values of x, 1, 2, -1, 0. You have to keep on trying till you get the value of the polynomial as 0. So these are some sums from the book, textbook. Yes. What is the sum telling us here? We have to just check whether putting the value x equal to -1/3, what is the value of the polynomial? Okay. So I have changed something, but let us see. So what I'm supposed to find? P x is given -1/3. So P of -1/3 is 3 into -1/3 plus 1. 3 and 3 gets cut. -1 plus 1 equal to 0. So -1/3 is a 0 of the polynomial 3x plus 1. In the next one we have Px equal to 5x minus pi, x equal to pi by 5. Any value you can take, so rational or irrational. So P of pi upon 5 equal to 5 upon 5 into pi upon 5 minus pi. 5 and 5 got cut. What are you left with? Pi minus pi equal to 0. So what do you understand? Pi upon 5 is a 0 of the polynomial 5x minus pi. Then here we have what? This was a linear polynomial. Remember, linear means what? Having degree 1. This is also linear polynomial having degree 1 and pi is a constant term. Here the degree is 2. Now we have to check this in two steps. So first I put p equal to 1. So 1 square minus 1 is 1 minus 1 is 0. And p of -1 is -1 the whole square minus 1. Instead of x I put -1. Now -1 into -1 is 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0. So what you can see here, -1/3 is the 0 of this polynomial. X equal to pi upon 5 is the 0 of this polynomial. 1 and -1. This polynomial has got two zeros at 1 and -1. Okay. Then we also did another method, if you remember. Here we only check the values. In this sum what we have done, the polynomial is given, the value is given, we only have to check when x is equal to 1/3, what is the value of this polynomial. Is it a 0? And we checked and we found out yes. When x is -1/3, the value of the polynomial becomes 0. In this polynomial 5x minus pi, when the value of x is pi upon 5, the value of the polynomial becomes 0. In this polynomial x square minus 1, when x is equal to 1, the value is 0. When x is equal to -1 also, the value is 0. Okay. So we learned one other thing also, the direct method. Now this is which method? Trial and error. I take x equal to -1/3, -1/2, 0, 1/2, 1/3. There are so many values I can take. In this way to find the 0 is very difficult. So what is the direct method? The direct method is that the value of this polynomial should become 0. Means 3x plus 1 should become 0. So 3x should become how much? The plus 1 goes on this side, should be -1. Which implies x equal to -1/3. So here we only check, but here we found the answer that there is only one answer, x equal to -3. In the same way here, if 5x minus pi is equal to 0, then 5x equal to minus pi goes here, becomes plus pi, 0 plus pi is pi, and x equal to pi upon 5. So this value is the 0, and this is the direct method to find it out. Clear? So there is trial and error method, which is quite long. So we do not use the trial and error method. Which one we use? The direct method. So now we will not go to trial and error because it is quite long. We will directly go to the method. Okay. So one more sum, let us see. Px equal to Cx plus D. This is the polynomial. So for which value of x will this polynomial become 0? So we have got Cx plus D equal to 0, Cx equal to minus D, and x is equal to minus D upon C. So for the value x equal to minus D upon C, this polynomial becomes 0. So this is the direct method to find the zeros. To find the zeros of which ones? Linear polynomials. Again, what are linear polynomials? Those which have got a degree 1. So you can see C and D are constants here. X is a variable whose power is 1, so degree is 1. So for this is called what? Again I tell you, this is called a linear polynomial. So when does the value become 0? Rearrange the numbers and you get x equal to minus d by c. So this is a linear polynomial, this one is a linear polynomial, and this one. They are linear polynomials. We found the 0 directly. Now this one here is a which polynomial? Square or quadratic polynomial. Here I cannot directly find the answer, but I can use some other method also. So let us check the method which can be used here. Okay, now there are two methods, method of factorization and method of the value, right? Let me write the sum on the top. So what did I have? I had P of x equal to x square minus 1. Now we know the identity x square minus can be written as x minus 1 or x plus 1. Right? So how does this become 0? One of the two has to be 0. If x minus 1 is 0, then x is 1. Or if x plus 1 is 0, then x equal to minus 1. Or we can even write x square minus 1 is a 0. The minus 1 to take on this side. So x square equal to 1. Now taking the square root on both sides. So square root of x square is x. But what is the square root of 1? It can be 1 also, or it can be minus 1 also. Why? Because the square of 1 is 1. The square of minus 1 is also 1. Okay? So this is what we do to find, which we'll practice further. But before that, now we'll go to something called the remainder theorem. Okay. Now what is the basic logic of the remainder theorem? So before we see the remainder theorem, let us see what happens if I divide 72 by 6, or if I divide 72 by 60. So you will see 6, 72 when I divide, 6 ones are 6, 12, 6 twos are 12. What is the remainder? You can see what is the remainder? The remainder is 0. Okay? Let me take the second case. 16 threes are 48, 16 fours are 64. What is the remainder? 8. Now before we go to the remainder theorem, I think you have understood what I was telling you here. When I divided 72 by 6, I got the remainder 0. Means 6 is a factor of 12. Or, sorry, 6 is a factor of 72, sorry. 6 12s are 72, means 72 is a multiple of 6, or 6 is a factor of 72. So when I did the division and I got a remainder 0, means 6 is a factor of 72. When I divide 72 by 16, I do not get a remainder 0. The remainder is not 0, means 16 is not a factor of 72. Now what analogy I used here, the same I have to use and find the factors. Okay? So for example, I have got 3x cube plus 4x square minus 2x. So let me check what are the factors here. Okay, is x a factor? So how do I find out if x is a factor or no? I have to divide this and see whether the remainder is 0 or no. Now how can I divide this? So I write 3x cube plus 4x square minus 2x upon x, or 3x squared by x plus 4x square by x minus 2x by x. X cuts here becomes square, x cuts here become 1, x cuts here. I get 3x square plus 4x minus 2. So you can check it out. When you multiply x with 3x square plus 4x minus 2, when you multiply, you will get x into x's. So this into this. Multiplying this with this, we get 3x cube. Multiplying this with that, which is sign between plus. So 4x square. You multiply x with minus 2 minus 2x. Are you getting the same thing? Means this has got two factors. Which two factors? One factor is x and one factor is this. Okay? So this is what is the idea of the remainder theorem. Means this divides exactly. So these two are called the factors. Okay? Now if you see the other way around, we have to learn the division, and from the division we can also find out. So now I'll do the division method. What I wanted to check whether x is a factor of this. So we will start with the division method. Now this division method is very important. Go along with me and learn this method. Okay? Go along with me and learn this method. It is very important. 3x square plus, sorry, it was 3x cube plus 4x square minus 2x. I am dividing this by x. Okay, I am dividing. How do you get, what will you multiply x with to get 3x square? So if I multiply by 3x square, so 3x square into x will give me 3x cube, right? So this gets cut. So this comes down here, 4x square. Now how I can get x from 4x square? So plus into 4x. So 4x into x gives me 4x square. Minus got cut. What comes down here now? Minus 2x. The sign is very important. So I put a minus 2 because minus 2 into x is minus 2x. The minus becomes plus, cut and 0. So you can see here what is the remainder left? I got the remainder as 0. And because I got the remainder 0 means x is a factor of this. Okay? So you have to understand the remainder theorem. So what is the remainder theorem we are doing? When you divide any polynomial by another polynomial, if you get the remainder 0, means it is a factor. If the remainder is not 0, it is not a factor. So what is this question? Px is a polynomial given as x plus 3x square minus 1. Gx is a polynomial given as 1 plus x. We have to divide px by gx. Okay? Now you understand the rules first. The rules of division. Which is the biggest power of x square? So first rearrange the sum and write it as 3x square plus x minus 1. I just rearranged, I have not changed the number. Plus 3x square, if it was minus, it would be a minus sign, but 3x square plus x minus 1. I have arranged it in the descending powers of x. The same way I have to divide by what? 1 plus x. But the variable should come first, the power of x. So I will divide by, what I will write here, x plus 1. I have to divide px by gx, so I write here. Now, this is the first step. Put in the descending order, descending powers, both, okay, px and gx. And now we start the division. So how do you understand the division? How does x become 3x square? With what would I multiply x to become 3x square? So it will be 3x. So x into 3x is 3x square, but there is also plus 1 here. So I have to multiply 3x by plus 1 also, so I get plus 3x. Okay? I have to minus this, so this becomes minus, this gets cut, 0. But now 1 minus 3 is minus 2x minus 1. I brought this minus 1 down. Can you see that? So this is what I am left with. Now comes the next step of division. How does x become minus 2x? So I multiply with minus 2. So minus 2 into x is minus 2x, and minus 2 into 1 is minus 2. Okay? To subtract, I have to change the sign. So when I minus, this minus minus will become plus, this also become plus. So minus 2 plus 2 becomes a 0, and minus 1 plus 2 becomes plus 1. So what is the remainder here? The remainder is 1. Now because the remainder is not 0, I divided this. Okay? I was told to divide px by gx, I divided. But now what I can see here, the remainder is 1 and not a 0. So x plus 1 is not a factor of 3x plus x minus 1. It is not a factor because the remainder is not 0. So this is the long division method. What do we call it? We call it the long division method. This is a very, very important method. You have to learn this method, right? But after doing this, what we can do? We have got a rule for any numbers. Dividend equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. Yes, this is the basic rule. I will show you how it works. So, suppose we divide 25 by 3. And 3 8s are 24. So, what you can see here? The dividend. What is the dividend? The dividend is 25. The number which you are dividing is dividend 25. So, we write here 25. Which is the divisor? The divisor is 3. So when you divide 25 by 3, what is the quotient you get? 8. And what is the remainder you are getting is 1. So have you observed this basic rule? Dividend equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. If this remainder is 0, these two are factors. If the remainder is not 0, then this is not a factor. So same way, how will we write this sum as? The divisor 3x square plus x minus 1 equal to the divisor x plus 1 into the quotient 3x minus 2 plus the remainder plus 1. Have you followed this? So after we finish the sum, we write the dividend equal to divisor into quotient, bracket means multiplication. So divisor into quotient plus 1. If the remainder is 0, these two are the factors. If the remainder is not 0, they are not the factors. So this is the method called the long division method. Now let us try one more sum by the long division method and find the remainder and see whether it is a factor or not. So what is the question we have? Divide the polynomial 3x raised to 4 minus 4x cube minus 3x minus 1 by x minus 1. So we have to divide this polynomial by this one, right? So let me write it down. 3x raised to 4 minus 4x cube minus 3x minus 1 to divide by x minus 1. Now remember, this method may be new to you, the long division method. So follow me closely, step by step, practice in your book. The previous sums which I have done, you can first see the video and then try the sums on your own without looking and see if you are able to do it. Because this might be a new method for you and you will need a lot of practice to understand this method. Now I begin. How does x become 3x raised to 4? What should I multiply? So I multiply this by 3x cube. So 3x cube into x becomes 3x raised to 4. But 3x cube into minus 1 becomes minus 3x cube. Changing of the signs, we have to minus this. So this is positive becomes negative, negative becomes positive. So this gets cut. Minus 4 plus 3 is minus 1 x cube. I bring this down, minus 3x. Now how does x become minus x cube? So I multiply with minus x square. Minus x square into x is minus x cube. But minus x square into minus 1 is what? Plus x square. Now what did you notice here? We have got x raised to 4, x raised to 3, but the x raised to 2 term is missing. It wasn't there. Yes, it is not there. Here you can see x cube, these are like terms, but these are not like terms. So you have to be very careful here. Yes, very, very careful. This minus becomes plus, gets cut off. This minus becomes minus. So minus x square stays at this. I cannot cut this. Why? This is 3x, this is x square. They are not like terms. So minus x square minus 3x still remains. Now, how do I write x square? X is x square. I have to multiply with minus x. So minus x into x gives me minus x square. Minus x into minus 1 gives me plus x. Again changing the signs. It's cut. Minus 3 minus 1 is minus 4x minus 1. One more step. How does x become minus 4? So into minus 4. Minus 4 into x is minus 4x. Minus 4 into minus 1 is plus 4. This becomes plus cut, this becomes minus. So I get the remainder minus 5. Can you see? So this division method, I am telling you again, is new for you. See the video 2 or 3 times, see this, repeat this, understand this, and one time without looking, try out the same thing if you are getting this answer. So what do you get the remainder? Minus 5. So when you divide anything, you will get, this is your dividend. Follow now. This which your polynomial which you are dividing is your dividend. With what you are dividing is your divisor. This is your quotient. This is the remainder. So how do we write it? We write dividend equal to divisor. Yes, we'll write it. Dividend 3x raised to 4 minus 4x cube minus 3x minus 1. Dividend equal to divisor x minus 1 into quotient 3x cube minus x square minus x minus 4 plus remainder is minus 5. Or you can directly write here plus into minus as minus 5. So are you following? See it again. Now there is one more thing we need to try. Okay, let us try that. X minus 1 we are dividing with. Let us say x minus 1 is equal to 0. Okay, let us say. And what does x become? 1. What I am doing is I am making it a 0. You will understand why. So when I divide x by x minus 1, then I can write x equal to 1. So let us check whether this works or not. So what is my polynomial? P of x equal to 3 of x raised to 4 minus 4x cube minus 3x minus 1. And what I am going to do now, I have got x minus 1, I divide with, so if I take x minus 1 equal to 0, x equal to 1, so directly let me take p of 1. So 3 integer 1 raised to 4 minus 4 1 raised to 3 minus 3 into 1 minus 1. 1 raised to 4 is 1. I get 3 minus 1 cube is 1 into 4 minus 3 into 1. So this 3 and 3 get cut. Minus 4 minus 1 I get minus 5. What do you notice here? The actual long division is this. Yes, this is the actual long division. So if I want to know whether this is a factor or not a factor, so Basically what I'm trying to do here, I divide this polynomial by this one, okay? I did the long division. What I saw, the remainder is minus 5, it is not 0. Because the remainder is not 0, this is not a factor. So if I want to check whether x minus 1 is a factor of this polynomial, I should do the long division. But then there is also a shortcut method called the remainder theorem. So this is the remainder theorem. What does the remainder theorem tell you? When you are dividing by x minus 1, if you take x minus 1, 0, x becomes 1. So directly in this polynomial, put x equal to 1 and you will get your remainder directly. Instead of doing this long division method, we have to learn this method also. This method is also very, very important. Practice this method. But if you are asked only the remainder, if you are told to only find the remainder, or you are said find if it is a factor. So to find the factor, this is a small method. You put the value, check the remainder. If the remainder is 0, this is a factor of the polynomial. If the remainder is not 0, this is not a factor of the polynomial. So this is what basically the remainder theorem is telling us. A very shortcut method to find out whether a given polynomial is a factor or not a factor. Is it clear to you? So we'll try out one more sum. Okay, let us do one more sum. So we'll divide p of x, x cube plus 1 by q of x, x plus 1. Now, what you can see here again, I told you x cube plus 1. There is a x cube. There is no x square. Okay, see the power is 3. There is no power 2. There is no power 1. Directly 0. Means the steps have been broken. So what you can do to make your sum easier, you got x cube, right, plus 0x square, right, plus 0x and then put the 1. Are you following what I am trying to tell you here? You have got the power 3 but no power 2. So you can write 0x square, you can make the coefficient 0. Why? 0 into anything is 0, not there. Here there is no x. So multiply with 0. 0 into x is 0 and the plus 1 remains. So here I put in the order, and what have we got here? X plus 1. Okay? So this is the sum. Now if you understood the division method, you can do your division separately. Okay, you pause the video here, do your division and then play the video and see whether it matches or not. So I want you here to pause the video, do this division and after that check whether the division is right or not. So x into x square gives me x cube and x square into 1 gives me x square. I have to subtract, so this becomes minus cut, minus 0 minus 1 minus 1 plus 0x. I bring it down. X into minus x is minus x square and minus x into plus 1 is minus x. This becomes plus, sign changes, cut, sign changes. So what is 0 plus 1? 1 plus 1. Now I write here plus 1. 1 into x, x, 1 into 1 plus 1, sign changes, minus, minus, cut and we get a 0. So because we got 0 a remainder, this is a factor. Now what is the shortcut method we know? P of x equal to x cube plus 1. So if x plus 1 is 0, means x equal to minus 1. If you want to find x plus 1 as a factor, if that is a 0, then x equal to minus 1. So what you directly have to do, we have to find the p of minus 1. So minus 1 raised to 3 plus 1. What is minus 1 cube? Minus 1 into minus 1 into minus 1 is minus 1 and plus 1 gives us 0. So we directly found out the remainder by which method? Called the remainder theorem method. Now what you have to do in the remainder theorem is, in this polynomial, replace the value of x. But how do you replace the value of x? Depends what is given to you. So suppose you are given, divide by qx, say 3x plus 2. So what will replace the x with? If 3x plus 2 is 0, then the plus 2 becomes minus 2 and 3 goes into division. So if you want to find 3x plus 2 is a factor or not, you can divide by 3x plus 2 get the remainder, or directly use the remainder theorem and get the remainder. So this is the thing we have done today, the division method and the remainder theorem. So you can go back to the book, try out a few sums, work it out and see whether you have understood this method. Okay, so today only two things we do, dividing, the long division method, and the shortcut remainder theorem. I will end here, see you tomorrow.